No.
No, never.
We're streaming now, by the way.
Yes. Yes, we'd love to have him back.
We had a mix-up, a slight mix-up with the guest, but it will be sorted and it will be mind-blowing. Jesus was a druid. He was an illegitimate son of Augustus Caesar. He came to the UK.
Is this what he thinks? Is that what he...
It's not what he thinks, it's the truth.
He was there.
That's his thesis.
Where were we on the COVID news? We've done Dr. Hillary, haven't we?
Yeah, that was it.
Huge changes afoot.
Huge changes.
So this is from The Independent. We're just going to carry on with the COVID news, ham-fistedly. Independent. NHS told to identify patients actually sick from COVID-19 separately to those testing positive.
Oh, right. Well, that'll be
yes.
new then.
Hospitals have been told to change the way they collect data on patients infected with coronavirus to differentiate between those actually sick with symptoms and those who test positive whilst seeking treatment for something else. So every week when we get the hospital admissions data, a proportion of those people who have gone in for kidney stones, or they've gone into A&E with a broken arm.
What constitutes an admission? If you like have a
Positive
little cough
test.
and you're a little bit hypochondriac. Oh, you
No,
still
no,
you
positive
have to have
test.
a positive test. Right?
Anyone who has a positive test, it's like the 28 days, dying within 28 days.
Well,
So
that logs
might have
cases,
had-
but then
hospital admissions as well.
So they
You go to hospital.
a test in hospital. Yeah, right, got it.
You go to hospital with a broken leg and admitted, you're going to be tested.
Right. Yes.
So you go on a COVID ward. And if you happen to have coronavirus, you are a coronavirus admission.
And if you don't have it, by the time you're on the COVID ward,
You'll have it.
Yeah.
Over 30% of cases are nosocomial. Is it nosocomial it's called?
So, sorry.
Hospital-acquired infection.
All right.
Would someone who had COVID a month ago, 28 days ago, isolated for 2 weeks, and then broke the leg, and then was admitted to hospital, they're a COVID case?
Oh, yeah, because it's within 28 days.
No,
Admission.
It's 90 days. You can test positive 90 days after infection. With a
right,
PCR
okay. So
test.
you can no, I'm still saying, sorry, that...
Up to.
Oh, right, okay.
So it can pick up fragments of dead virus. So you've had it, you've recovered. 90 days later, you have a routine surgery. Well, obviously, there's no routine surgeries happening, is there? But you have a A&E accident. You could be admitted as a COVID patient and go on to the stats. The move would reduce the overall number of patients in hospital for coronavirus, as until now, data from hospitals has included all patients who tested positive for COVID-19, regardless of whether they had symptoms or not. NHS England has instructed hospitals to make the change to the daily flow of data sent by NHS trusts and told The Independent that the move was being done to help analyse the effect of the vaccine programme. Yeah, it's going to make it look great, isn't it?
We're going to have negative hospital admissions.
And whether it's successfully reducing COVID-19 sickness. It's just junk, innit? We're just feeding off junk data constantly for the last 18
that's
months.
the thing. To show the efficacy, they should obviously have to keep everything the same all the way through.
Yeah, but if you're feeding junk in, feeding more junk doesn't really do anything, does it?
No, I suppose.
It's not reality. The point is they should have been doing this from the start.
From the start, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Not now.
So
But you got to get the fear up, you see.
Yeah.
You know, to make sure you get your vaccine.
In some ways, it's good, isn't it, that they're actually doing this?
Absolutely. You need your data to be as representative as possible and as accurate as possible.
It should have just.
Point is that, and they should be doing it with the deaths as well.
I think it fits the narrative now, doesn't it?
Because they're trying to roll back.
Yeah, trying to get out of the lockdown.
Yeah, I don't know. Anthony Fauci, you must have heard about the Fauci email for you.
Only from you, I think. And what
We
you said last
didn't
week.
really do it. We didn't really cover it because, to be honest, there
little bit.
wasn't a lot in it.
Alright,
There's
okay.
some dodgy stuff. There is dodgy stuff. Most of the best bits are heavily redacted. So, you know, but he's been fighting back, obviously, because he's been getting criticised for some of the stuff that is in the emails. Yeah, so it strikes back over his email. Get a load of this sanctimonious prick.
Me, quite frankly, are attacks on science. because
Attacks on me are attacks on science.
all of the things that I have spoken about consistently from the very beginning have been fundamentally based on science. Sometimes those things were inconvenient truths for people, and there was pushback against me. So if you are trying to, get at me as a public health official and a scientist, you're really attacking not only Dr. Anthony Fauci, you're attacking science. And anybody that looks at what's going on clearly sees that. You have to be asleep not to see that. That is what's going on. Science and the truth are being attacked.
Truth. See, this is like where like science and religion are being conflated again here. There's so much.
Yeah, it's called Scientism.
Yeah, there's so much overlap with the language there, isn't there, between.
Yeah, and it's because of this technocracy, techno-populism, this new era that we are in.
Because like
science cannot be questioned.
Isn't like Jesus spoke the truth or whatever, and now he speaks the truth.
Yeah, I guess. The thing is that politicians have abdicated all the decision making to scientific advisors.
Following the science.
And the problem is that a lot of these decisions that are being made are not to do with truth. They're to do with values.
Yeah.
And you can't quantify a value.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to live under lockdown for the rest of your life? It'll probably be a lot safer. Is that a valuable existence? Do you not want to be able to have physical contact with the people you love?
Well,
it's safe
if you're following the rules, doesn't it? I suppose.
Well, this is where it's coming. I'm talking about the overarching where this has come from.
Yeah.
And where it's going to continue to go
Mm-hmm.
until they stop it, until someone stops it. I don't know. Sticking with Fauci, he and Jill Biden were on one of the morning shows in America this week talking about vaccinating kids. Well, this was quite interesting. Jill Biden, Dr. Jill Biden. I think she's got a PhD in education.
She does. Yep.
Teaching.
12, go get vaccinated. Yes.
Please.
Yes.
So speaking of which, so Pfizer has been approved for 12 plus, right?
Right. And Moderna right after them, too.
Oh, so that's a foregone conclusion. It says Moderna right after them, too. It's not, they haven't been given the go ahead, but it's a foregone conclusion, apparently.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
When do you
That must constitute following the science, preeminating.
Precognition.
Yeah, precognition, yeah.
think the youngest of us?
It's going to be what we call age de-escalation. We're going to start with the 12 to the 9, then the 9 to the 6, and the 6 to the 2. We anticipate by the time we get towards the end of this calendar year, we'll be able to vaccinate children of any age. So we're getting there.
We're getting there.
It's me sick. STIKO. You heard of STIKO?
STIKO?
STIKO is the German equivalent of the MHRA or the FDA.
All right.
They've ruled
They have
out
the EMA, don't they? In Europe?
yeah, but each EU member has its own,
Right.
rather than supranational. It has its own national medicines authority. Can't remember what the acronym stands for with STIKO. I should have written it. Oh, Standing Vaccination Commission. Recommends COVID jabs not to under 16s.
I can see that.
Unless they have like serious pre-existing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're at high risk, then there's logic behind it.
If you have cancer or serious impairments, they're not recommending.
It should be the same as the flu vaccines.
What's that?
I think that is that there are flu vaccines available for children.
Yeah.
I think it's under 4s, isn't it? You get one and...
Actually, yeah. No, it shouldn't be like the flu vaccines. That's what they're going towards, where they're spreading it's going to cover every age group, isn't it?
What's interesting is the FDA and Fauci are saying, if you're 12 years old, go and get it. The AMA European Medical Agency is saying, go and get it.
Yeah.
But the German one is saying, don't get it.
They were a bit more
Maybe I should read.
weren't they, for the...
STIKO will recommend that only minors aged 12 to 17 who have an increased risk of suffering severe COVID-19 should get vaccinated. These risk factors include obesity, heart failure, cyanosis, immune system disorders, high blood pressure, lung disease, chronic nervous system disorder, kidney disorder, malignant tumor disease. The Vaccination Commission further recommends that children and adolescents above the age of 12 should also be vaccinated if their relatives have severe blah, blah, blah. The use of Comirnaty, which is the brand name of the Pfizer-BioNTech jab, in children and adolescents aged 12 to 17 without previous illness is currently not generally recommended. So we have, a change of opinion. But we have it all over Europe. Like with Norway banned the AstraZeneca vaccine, and they're not having it for anyone. There's a call from another European country today. I don't know if it was Italy, maybe, saying no AstraZeneca for over 60s.
Right.
So it's just a mess, isn't it? Just a mess.
Well, there's no consensus, is there?
No.
I thought the science was the science.
It was the truth.
Yeah.
It was divined by Dr. Fauci.
Exactly, yeah.
And Patrick unbalanced.
Dr. Hillary.
There was a good interview. I think it might have been the Telegraph. Is it the Telegraph? No, Planet Normal podcast had Dr. Yolanta Bhattacharya on. Dr. Yolanta Bhattacharya.
Dr. Battacharya.
And he was talking about how lockdowns actually work in practice, which I thought beared repeating.
The actual practice of a lockdown is a class of people, a small class of people, relatively well off, have jobs that can be done remotely. Well, those people, they can be protected while the rest of society has to face the harms of the virus, whether they're vulnerable or not, whether they're high risk or not. That's the actual practice of lockdown. Lockdown is trickle-down epidemiology. It's essentially...
That's a great phrase. Trickle-down epidemiology.
Focused protection of the rich. It's really incredible to me to watch the failure of this strategy so evident, and yet much of the scientific community remains attached to it.
That's an interesting way of looking at it, isn't it? It's quite true.
Yes. Yeah. He goes on to the interview asking what history will make of the lockdowns. And so he goes into some of the ramifications of the trickle-down epidemiology.
Yeah, I doubt the future historians will have much to say about me in particular, but I do think that future historians will look back in this and say this was the single biggest public health mistake possibly in all history in terms of the scope of the harm that it's caused. Every single poor person on the face of the earth has faced some harm, sometimes catastrophic harm, from this lockdown policy. You know, the UN in April of last year estimated that 130 million people around the world would face starvation as a consequence of the lockdowns. Hundreds of thousands of people would die from tuberculosis because they didn't receive basic treatments that would have saved their lives. That's in developing the world. The UN in March of this year estimated in South Asia alone, 228,000 children have died from starvation and missed medical care because of the lockdowns there. In developed countries, we have similar problems, although maybe not quite the same scale. Right. So women this year will come in with late stage breast cancer that should have been diagnosed last year, and they'll die from breast cancer that they should have survived. Men and women together will die from colon cancer that should have been picked up last year. Diabetics will have kidneys fail that should have been addressed during previous years. We were going to have an enormous after effect of these lockdowns. It's not simply one. I mean, and it's very, very simple. You can't think about public health as if it were just one thing. Health is a multifaceted thing, and public health should focus on all the facets of health. Humans need more than just infection control.
Yes.
Good line to finish on. I mean, you just rattled through a lot of the unintentional consequences that we've been talking about for over a year. But it does sound better coming from someone with 4 degrees from Harvard plus a PhD, rather than me.
Self.
It's the same narrative, isn't it?
Yeah, he's one of the co-authors of the Barrington Declaration.
Oh, I remember that.
It was ridiculed by the mainstream press, really, wasn't it?
Smeared. He was smeared. Yep. Don't go against the orthodoxy. Yeah, that's the truth will out.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Hopefully. Yeah. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. I couldn't remember the name of that communist who's on Sage.
Oh yeah, what's the name?
You did send it, didn't you?
On the podcast, I mean.
Oh right,
I
okay.
can't remember her name. It's Susan Michie.
Right, okay.
And she's on, I think, Spy B, which is the behavioural, the ones who try and control our behaviour through the government messaging and whatnot. And she was on Channel 5 News this week.
Was she?
She's on news every week.
Oh, right, okay.
She's one of these talking heads like Ferguson and all the rest of it. She's one of the more high profile talking head Sage members. And my jaw pretty much hit the floor watching this. This is clip 1 from Susan Michie.
Professor Michie, if I can start with you first. Do you think that this is going to be right? We've had so much hope on the vaccines, hopefully changing everything, bringing an end to the pandemic, bringing an end to these changes we've had in our lives. Do you think it won't be enough?
Vaccines are a really important part of the pandemic control, but it's only one part. Test, trace and isolate system, border controls are really essential. And the third thing is people's behaviour. That is the behaviour of social distancing, of when you're indoors, making sure there's good ventilation, or if there's not, wearing face masks, and hand and surface hygiene. We'll need to keep these going in the long term, and that will be good not only for COVID, but also to reduce other.
So when you say long term, sorry to interrupt, Professor Michie. When you say long term, what do you mean by that? How long? Very quickly.
I think forever.
Saw it coming.
You saw it coming, yeah?
Outrageous.
So, social distancing, hand washing, and masks forever.
Why are the government listening to this lunatic? She's a fucking lunatic.
She's coming from she must be, like you said, the mask thing's become a massive psychological tool, hasn't it? For controlling behaviour and stuff.
Seriously, if you didn't see people, 99% of you listening, watching, if you didn't see people wearing masks, would you fucking know that anything was happening?
Exactly, yeah.
No. Charlie Robinson fucking nailed it 6 months ago on this podcast. It's a visual representation of a pandemic, and it's used to attack you psychologically. That's the only fucking use it does. Doesn't stop the fucking virus, doesn't stop you getting it. People fucking pull it out of the dirty pocket, stick it on, stick it. It's bullshit. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
But it's in your fucking head.
Yeah.
And the sooner you take the fucking things off, the better.
And I think originally I thought the angle was that it was like the illusion of safety as well, wasn't it?
Some people say it gives you a false sense of security.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, those lanyards with daisies on or whatever, they seem to work just as well. Because if you have on an M, you don't have to wear a mask.
Oh, you just say you're exempt.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. Anyway, she has to. Obviously, the interview is not just going to leave it there. So she's probed. Probes her on why things are going to last forever. Yeah, probe the Marxist, the communist, paid up member of the Communist Party.
No, isn't she high up in it? Is she a 10th Dan or whatever the system is? Hierarchy.
She's definitely not a kek. Oh no, it's not kek. That's Kekistan. What were they called? The inmates in the gulag. Shit, it's gone. No, it's gone. Clip 2.
Professor Michie, sorry, do you really think that people can continue?
Zek. You were a Zek. Z-E-K. That's what the inmates called each other. Yeah.
to live the way that you think we potentially might have to live, wearing the mask, social distancing, spending more time outside? Do you think this is something we can really adapt to forever?
I think there's lots of different behaviours that we've changed in our lives. We now routinely wear seatbelts. We didn't used to. We now routinely pick up dog poo in the parks. We didn't used to. When people see that there is a threat...
Not seeing your loved ones or being able to visit people in old folks in a nursing home is like picking up dog poo.
And there's something they can do to reduce that themselves, their loved ones, and their communities. What we've seen over this last year is people do that. And I think we can just begin to adopt routines. When we go out of the house, we check we've got our phone, we've got our keys, we've got tissues, we've got a face mask in case we need to use it. It's not going to be a huge, big deal, the kind of behaviours that we're talking about. And I think we also need to think about the way we plan our cities, our transport, our lifestyles.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, this is where we're going, isn't it? The green industrial revolution.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, we've been saying it for months. The climate.
Yeah.
This is the justification.
Instead of going back to huge long commutes, have more local working hubs where people don't have to travel. So
you filthy Zeks. You're going to live in the city centre on the second floor. The shop will be on the ground floor, and your office will be on the third floor. And you won't travel. And and there'll be gate. There'll be sort of like it'll be like a not gated, not a fence
compound,
like a gate round you, because there'll be areas outside the gate where you aren't allowed to go. This is called the rewilding.
Well, they'll have when you have like geofencing, so an alarm will go off on your neck brace.
It's like your Daisy lanyard.
You have 30 seconds to get back in your zone, or
or maybe it'll be the old jab. They'll just the kill switch in the jab. Once you go outside a certain radius, they'll just 5G you.
They magnetize you.
Yeah, it's fine if you stick a spoon to your forehead.
You stick to steel girder in the building. Dong.
Was that even the end of it?
So much good, not only for health, but for the environment. The environmental crisis is the next one down the road.
It's the next one.
Spoilers.
It's the next one down the road. We know this. We've been saying this for the best part of a year.
We've already prepared a jingle for environmental crisis news.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're sick of lockdown, right? Watch out for this. This is what's coming next. This is climate lockdown.
Are you ready for climate lockdowns? What, you think I'm making that up? Avoiding a climate lockdown by the WBCSD. That rolls off the tongue. That stands for the World Business Council for Sustainable Development. 3M, Apple.
These are all the corporate sponsors of this NGO.
Bloomberg, BMW, Chevron, BP, Dow, DuPont, Google, IBM, IKEA, Kellogg's, Nestle, Procter & Gamble. It just keeps going. This was published way back in October 2020, so it's not even a new thing. They say in the near future, the world may need to resort to lockdowns again, this time to tackle a climate emergency. Wait, how could the climate create an emergency that we need a lockdown to solve? Who cares? They say under a climate lockdown, governments would...
Any existential threat. Mm-hmm. All they have to say is that it's going to kill people. We've already set the precedent.
Yeah.
We need to lock down to save lives, and this is the next emergency they're going to use.
Limit private vehicle use, ban the consumption of red meat, and impose extreme energy-saving measures. Fossil fuel companies would have to stop drilling. To avoid such a scenario, we have to overhaul economics and do capitalism differently. You see in this?
On Max.
Yeah, got second part.
You see, in this article, they explain how the three crises, the health crisis, the economic crisis, and the environmental crisis, are all interconnected by the Anthropocene, which they call a disease. Yes, the disease of the Anthropocene.
These are direct quotes from this
So,
article.
but all these corporate sponsors, which fucking virus is buying their product? Us, the Anthropocene.
Yeah.
Have you not heard of the tortoise and the scorpion?
With the boat. Is there a boat?
No.
Is there a race?
No, there's just a turtle and a scorpion in a river.
That's the end of the story. Oh, the river. Yeah, there is a boat.
No, there's not a boat.
Got to cross the river, right?
I think I
Yeah,
have.
the scorpion.
But
The
I
scorpion
haven't-
wants
The
to.
scorpion's the boat. I get it.
Does the scorpion hollow out the turtle? And use it as a
Essentially,
boat?
yeah. Yeah, the scorpion wants to get across the river and says to the turtle, give us a ride to the other side of the river. And the turtle says, no chance, you'll sting me. And the scorpion says, why would I do that? If I sting you when we're in the water, we'll both drown. So the turtle goes, okay, fair enough. That makes sense. So turtle gives the scorpion a ride, and halfway across the river, scorpion stings him. And then they both start sinking and drowning. And the turtle says, why did you do that? Now we're both going to die. And the scorpion says, it's in my nature.
Yeah.
Continue.
That's from the U.S. National Library of Medicine and National Institute of Health. What is the Anthropocene? Well, it's humanity. Anthropocene literally means the world as controlled by humanity. So what they're saying is humans are a disease that needs to be wiped out.
It's like I looked at the article actually from the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, and it is fucking New World Order buzzword bingo. Public-private partnerships, stakeholder capitalism, nature capital development, rewilding programs, sustainable growth initiatives. It's all about controlling how you live your life, basically.
You can probably have all those things without destroying all of humanity, though, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we not have some of those things?
Kind of do. I mean,
that's the idea. Is that they'll lock you down to stop you destroying humanity.
But I'm pretty sure
to save the climate.
But we are doing things to, stop. What's the word?
Rewilding. I've not mowed the lawn for ages. That count?
How dare you?
I'm sure I was reading. I know like deforestation is one of them, but only one thing about sort of habitat destruction. That's what I was looking for. So that's obviously a thing, isn't it? Things. But they'd said that over like sort of the last 20 years, an area the size of France had been replanted.
Yeah,
with trees.
They have to keep upping their estimates of tree coverage on the planet because it just keeps sort of going up when there's more than they thought. It all ties into Agenda 2021, United Nations Sustainable Development Programs. It's been written about for years. The Odd Man was telling us about this over a year and a half ago.
A decade ago.
Yeah. So it's coming. You just got to watch out for it. At least, you are forewarned. Speaking of the end of days, you sent a clip of Theresa May in Parliament. Matt?
Oh, you're speaking to me like I'm a listener. I did, yeah.
Any intro?
You going to do a lead in for it?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Shall we just frame it as she speaks the truth?
We will not eradicate COVID-19 from the UK. There will not be a time when we can say that there will never be another case of COVID-19 in this country. Secondly, variants will keep on coming. There will be new variants every year. If the government's position is that we cannot open up travel until there are no new variants elsewhere in the world, then we will never be able to travel abroad ever again. And the third fact that the government needs to state much more clearly is that sadly people will die from COVID here in the UK in the future, as 10 to 20,000 people do every year from flu. It's incomprehensible, I think, that one of the most heavily vaccinated countries in the world is one that is most reluctant to give its citizens the freedoms those vaccinations should support. We will.
Maybot's had a firmware upgrade.
I didn't think I would ever say this, but I wish Theresa May was Prime Minister.
I know, yeah. I was just, would she be? This is the thing that came to my mind. This is the second time I've listened to that. Is whether she would be saying that if she was Prime Minister. She wouldn't be, would she?
No,
I don't know.
I don't think she would. I mean, I think. Oh, I don't know. She has said a lot of things.
You don't have to ask permission. Let's go. She needs the toilet.
This is Oh no, are we gonna hear him?
No, I won't hear him. Do you care to make it's the big announcement tomorrow? Would you care to make a prediction for the Bojo announcement?
2 more weeks.
Yes, that's what I think. Why do you think that?
Because that gives us 4 weeks.
What?
I think it gives us 4 weeks. So it'd be so it's
meant to unlock next week on
right,
the 21st.
So that'd be 3 weeks then, will it?
Yeah.
Do 2 extra weeks then.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
no, something
that's what I think.
Something to do with the stats.
All right. No, my rationale is they've been over this last week or so. They've been talking about a month.
Right.
About putting things back a month. So I think they've already made the decision that it's going to be 2 weeks. And then over the last week, 10 days, they've been leaking out that they're thinking about doing it for a month. So when they come out tomorrow and say it's delayed by 2 weeks, you know, some idiots will be going, oh, could have been worse, could have been a month.
Oh, yeah. That's probably what I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be 2 weeks. We're waiting with bated breath.
I think he will. I mean, the thing is you get the vibe that he's quite keen to get rid of the lockdowns, isn't he? But he's following the science.
I've two last things, 2 funny things to finish on.
Oh, really?
Yes. You sent one.
I know, yeah, that's what I mean. I'm pretending to be interested in my own
Spare thoughts for Cape Cod lobster man, Michael Packard.
I know.
Had a run-in with a humpback whale.
I'm a lobster diver out of Provincetown, Massachusetts, and I was diving today. And I jumped over and I got down to about 45 feet of water, and all of a sudden I just felt this huge bump, and everything went dark, and I could sense that I was moving, and I was like, oh shit. Fuck. God, did I just get bit by a shark? And then I felt around and I realized there was no teeth, and I had felt really no great pain. And then I realized, oh my God, I'm in a whale's mouth. I'm in a whale's mouth, and he's trying to swallow me. And I thought to myself, okay, this is it. This is...
Oh, shit.
Finally...
Oh, shit.
I'm going to die.
Fuck.
Finally? My kids and my wife, and I really... There was no getting out of there. And then all of a sudden, he went up to the surface and just erupted and started shaking his head. And I just got thrown in the air and landed in the water, and I was free, and I just floated there. And I was just, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe I got out of that. And I'm here to tell it, and I thought my legs were broken, but I'm all bruised up, and I made it.
You made it, yeah. The whale came to the surface and was like...
because I believe I have an issue in this respect.
Coughed him up.
Yeah. It's a bit crazy, that one. What do humpback whales eat? Do they eat krill? Is it?
No, they eat
vegan sausage roll.
Yeah, they've filtered, haven't they? They've got a baleen. Oh, that's baleen.
Plankton.
Yeah.
They eat plankton?
All whales eat plankton.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
No, they don't.
It's like Wales 101.
Yeah.
No, they don't. Because I've watched.
Yeah, plankton, leaks,
submarines.
Yeah, Gareth Bale. You've seen submarines? What? Submarines aren't whales.
No, it's part of the.
I meant
part of what they eat.
I meant yeah.
Cape Cod fishermen apparently as well.
Yeah.
I've seen whales circle around blowhole. No, they might have been killer whales actually.
Big fish.
Yeah.
What you're saying, like schools of fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's orcas. Still whales, though.
Fact check false, I think.
I think killer whales have proper teeth, right?
Absolutely, yeah. They're dangerous.
Yeah.
check out SeaWorld. I've seen, was it Tillicum? It was Tillicum, the killer whale, who killed one of the trainers. What's the name of the documentary? Is it called Blackfin?
Free Willy?
It's called Blackfin.
Blackfin, yeah.
On Netflix. There's a few killer whales who've turned, haven't they, on the... Not to blame them. I mean, they shouldn't be in captivity, for a start.
Yeah.
What are you Googling?
Oh, humpback whales eat.
We've told you, it's plankton.
Humpback bridges.
It's not.
It is. It's
Bee garden sausage roll.
It's even got the story.
Last story. Do we remember Jeffrey Toobin?
No.
Jeffrey Toobin,
Does he play the tuba?
Does he have 2 bins?
Does he tubi on the tuba?
He is, he was a writer for The New Yorker and a contributor to CNN. And unfortunately, he was in a Zoom meeting with his New Yorker colleagues, and he decided to start masturbating.
Oh, I mean, can't blame him, really.
Is he died?
Did he die?
That's some serious commitment to public masturbation.
They might be dead now or something.
He's back.
Oh.
He's made his return to CNN, and it's not awkward at all.
Person, I mean, in therapy.
Oh, it started halfway through. Try again.
Let's bring in CNN chief legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin to talk about this and more. Hi, Jeffrey.
Hello, Allison.
It's been a while.
It has been a while, indeed.
Yeah, it's been about 6 months since you were suspended.
Was she on the call?
No, the call was with his compadres at the New Yorker, and this is CNN because he was also a contributor for CNN.
Feel like we should address what's happened in the months since we've seen you, since some of our viewers may not know what has happened. So I guess I'll recap. I'll do the honors.
Help yourself.
Okay. In October, you were on a Zoom call with your colleagues from the New Yorker magazine. Everyone took a break for several minutes, during which time you were caught masturbating on camera. You were subsequently fired from that job after 27 years of working there. And you, since then, have been on leave from CNN. Do I have all that right?
You got it all right. Sad to say.
Okay, so let's start there.
Okay.
To quote Jay Leno, what the hell were you thinking?
Well, obviously, I wasn't thinking very well or very much, and it was something that was inexplicable to me. I think one point, I wouldn't exactly say in my defense, because nothing is really in my defense. I didn't think I was on the call. I didn't think other people could see me.
You thought that you had turned off your camera?
Correct. I thought that I had turned off the Zoom call. Now, that's not a defense. This was deeply moronic and indefensible, but I mean, that is part of the story. And, you know, I have spent the 7 subsequent months, miserable months in my life, I can certainly confess, trying to be a better person. I mean, in therapy, trying to do some public service, working in a food bank, which I certainly am going to continue to do, working on a book about the...
What?
What's working in a food bank got to do with masturbating?
Community service.
Why?
He's a changed character.
Oh, fuck off.
Hey, he didn't...
I never sucked any ding-dongs.
Everybody masturbates. You know, just turn your camera off.
On Zoom calls?
Well, not on Zoom call. You know, you just go to the bathroom or your bedroom or something. Everyone masturbates, don't they? Yeah. Not on the Zoom call.
No.
I'm a city bombing, but I am trying to become the kind of person that people...
Do you want to give him some advice? Do you think maybe he had a dessert spoon in his arse?
What you need to do with the dessert spoon is put it in a bowl of warm water as well before you shove it up your arse.
Maybe the carrot was his penis.
Good advice.
Come on.
I don't even know what it's called. It's been that long.
From the record.
It's been expunged.
Do it.
Oh no, maybe it's called penis.
I imagined the carrot was my penis. Penis carrot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's more from Dick Pound.
Imagine that the Zoom call was his penis.
You don't give a fuck.
Is it unusual to develop role models this late in life?
I don't know. Well, maybe he was just bored.
Because we've been bored and we want to have fun.
I don't know. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
He should have just owned it.
He has.
He has.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I suppose.
You don't give a fuck.
You don't give a fuck.
He's just a moron.
Just bantering it.
How do you think he felt when he realised?
When he ejaculated.
On the camera, it's like that.
How far did he get?
I don't know. I don't think
Come on, these are the facts we need.
I don't think there is a video of it.
My wife showed me another video, but I think it was fake. And it was a Zoom call with a guy doing it, and they're all going, no.
I know the one you're talking about, and it's a Pornhub advert.
Oh,
it's if you
clipped.
Yeah, Pornhub did an advert, and they released it everywhere for this specific crime against humanity.
Guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a bit horrible, isn't it, to watch her? Is he like 70?
Oh, 60s, I would say.
Yeah.
60 odd.
It's so. I think the only thing that can protect us from this kind of thing is some sort of lockdown.
Kind of sex.
It's made it worse.
Societal lockdown. Whoa, he's in his 70s.
No, he's about 60, I would say.
Oh, fair going.
Yeah.
All right.
Still rocking.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Stroke victim.
It's late.
Yeah. How long have we managed to drag that out for?
Well, I don't know. It's all up in the air, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because
it's
we
all
had an interlope in the middle.
I reckon we've done an hour and a half,
Yeah.
It was rushed. But
Russian.
Mother of feces. Have you seen the trailer for Masters of the Universe on Netflix?
Oh no, I've seen.
It's a thingy one, isn't
It's
it?
a thing.
Thingy one.
The man.
He-Man.
The man.
Um,
Adam of Eternia. What?
Kevin Smith. Is it not Kevin Smith?
Oh, is he behind it?
I think he might have directed it. I might be wrong.
Really?
It's not a movie, you know.
Is it
It's
not?
not got Jay and Silent Bob in
Is
it.
it a cartoon?
Yeah, they're doing a Voltron. They're making it cool. I was in Smith's Toys like 2 weeks ago, and they had the toys.
Already?
They had a small selection. They had He-Man, Skeletor,
Manowar,
Battle Cat,
Fisto.
Fisto. No, unfortunately, just had He-Man and Skeletor and the cats. Battle Cat, and I can't remember the Skeletor's cat. Plus Do you remember the film?
No.
With Dolph Lundgren in it.
I know Dolph Lundgren was in it, but I don't recall seeing the film.
I want to say Meg Ryan was in it as well. I might be wrong.
I don't know why I think thingies in it got something to do with it. Kevin Smith. I don't know where that's come from.
Is it Kevin Spacey?
Oh my god.
He won't be on it. Sarah Michelle Gellar's in it.
What? Oh, it's animated.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, she does a lot of voices for cartoon.
Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's Skeletor. Was he Skeletor in the original? I mean the cartoon.
It might be.
In the
It might be
cartoon.
Kevin Smith because Mark Hamill and Kevin Smith have worked together before.
And Lena
Headey?
Yeah.
that's,
Evil Lynn.
Shame.
Hang
Shame.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn Smith is a character in it. That's Kevin Smith's daughter.
Right, so he's behind it. Maybe he's exec producer.
Maybe.
Maybe he's producer. You can't direct. Can you direct an animated program?
Maybe he's the creative
juice.
Yeah. Oh no, it says here. Look, the war for Eternia begins again in what may be the final battle between He-Man and Skeletor. A new animated series from writer-director Kevin Smith.
I don't know. I might
looks
might
the
try
same.
it. The trailer is quite good.
I never watched it really as a child. It was on CITV, wasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. So
we had a lot of figures.
I had Battlecat.
Yeah.
I had some masks.
It was fuzzy. If I remember right, it was
like
fuzzy.
a flocked plastic.
They won't get away with making that today.
No.
It must have had all sorts of fucking bacteria on it.
God, yeah, that's what keeps you
Healthy, yeah. Rather than this ultra sanitized world that we're bringing our kids up in now.
Mm-hmm. But it doesn't seem to be helping my kids at the moment because they're incredibly ill.
There's only one disease out there, Matt. You know that.
Well, yeah. You had to get tested again so I can go back to school.
Yeah. And the next disease is going to be the climate disease.
The sun is a deadly laser.
forgot about that one.
Pulling them out of the bag tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
I'm bored and I want to have fun. Shall we go?
Yeah. It's
Time
just
for
bands,
bed.
isn't it?
Time for bed.
Someone's getting real low.
Who's on next week? Do we know?
I don't know. Simon? No, was that later on?
No, we've got that'll be good. Simon Shack and Patrick Holmquist. That's in a few weeks. Why do we not know who's on next week?
Mark Fiorentino.
Oh,
Fiorentino.
Metaphysics.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, nature of reality.
He had a lab coat when he turned up last time.
Absolutely. He's serious about this shit.
Very good.
Yeah.
Squeeze some Sartre in this week.
Right. We'll see you next week.
Lads.
Feces.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
Kind of rep.
Praise Babylon.
This is such a crock of shit.